This is a quick highlight compilation of a larger series of reviews. You can find the links in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, enjoy the worst of the worst. This is another one of the novelty ones where I just don't really get it. Like, how is this notable enough to be a novelty? If anything, it being a tiny acorn creature inside a tiny acorn makes so much more sense than it being inside a pumpkin. This feels like it should have been a basic variant of just what it already is, and the pumpkin should have been the special one. But I appreciate at least they did a really good job, really detailed texture. Is it a walnut? It might be a walnut. That walnut. But I don't know why it has, like, an old-timey cartoon back flap on its pants to poop out of. Now we have a new candidate for the worst pro and also the worst monster in the entire game. I hate that texture. That doesn't look like gold. That looks like you auto-recolored it in Photoshop or something and didn't check the contrast levels. Like, where is the contrast? Where is the shading? You've got two shades of yellow that are really close to each other. One's mildly oranger, but it's not oranger enough to even make it out. Like, you have to fucking zoom in to see. And, like, I like the idea of, hypothetically, the horns being, like, was this just an idea for a duck and one that got recolored because they look like duck heads? They have no relation anyway to Garly? There's nothing Garly on it? It's just the colour of Garly, but it's not even that. It's not even the right colour of gold. What the fuck is this? It looks like the equivalent of those badly made Pokemon fan game sprites which have no outlines for some reason. It just looks wrong. It just looks wrong. Like, there should be shading. There should be shading anywhere on the image. Did this look better in a different game? Is it just like an error on the DS? Yes! Yeah, exactly. It's just the guy, but there's shading. What the fuck happened to you? You have lines, you have definition. Also, this blurry screenshot of what it was in the Japanese-only original game appears to look better, but it may just be the bad quality of the scan. Yeah, seriously, just like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. There is something wrong. The something wrong has been kept for all future ones. It's still on the app game too. Just look at that! It actually has shiny shading, but orange parts are darker enough to be noticed. What happened to you? What happened to you, my son? Gontar! Gontar is here! Yeah, probably one of the most boring ones. Like, I don't have the base form for, what's it called, a Baku. It looks almost exactly like this, it just doesn't have the brown stripes. It's the same thing, and we just drew one tiny piece of hair's design onto only the ears. Born of the Future, also the regular one, has lidded sleepy eyes, and this one does not. It's really not very noticeable. But the flavor text really makes it here. It's so boring, we couldn't describe in any way the species, so we've made this entire deep lore about Gontar being a singular character who was abandoned by its breeder for years and went on a great search and somehow evolved into having slightly dipped ear colours, and because of that, when its owner came back, it couldn't recognise it, and it had lost his memory. Like, an amnesia soap opera plot is going on about the shittiest design in the whole game, and okay, you've made it a little bit more interesting, actually. Also, I don't know why it has a visible butthole. I think it's the only monster that has that. Please stop rotating, sir. Oh, Sueko! See, I like her. That's a good, simple pun on the same name, but funny, because Ko is a common Japanese name ending for female names. I guess it's like, if you put like L on the end in English. And I like this design, like, making it have little butterfly wings. Again, I'm not sure what the association is with Suezo, except just the fact it has fake eye patterns, but you can put on any kind of wings. It's a shame that we don't have Worm. It would be really nice to have a Worm one which had butterfly wings. That'd be nice. We actually did. It was one of the ones I just didn't happen to get in Monster Rancher 2, and I think it looks better. That's cool. I especially like the different patterns they had on the wings on this one particular card from the card game, and I like the design here. It's got a different kind, like it's more of like a jumpsuit instead of a bikini. It does seem a little bit weird how the only the pants are a different colour and the same colour as the hair, as opposed to regular Pixie, the whole body, the whole bikini being hair. It looks a little bit strange and a little bit accidentally lewd when only the pants seem to be hair. And I don't think they are actually hair. I think it is just a contrasting colour for some reason. But I like it having a little tiny Suezo tail in the back. I like it having like Shrek ears made of other Suezo tails. This is a good medium for me. Also, it's really hard to tell. I'll zoom in on the footage, but I think it has an eye on its belly. Oh, the pants are meant to look like the tongue. Okay, that's full on ruined the entire design. That's a disgusting choice. I'm sorry. I could see the comedy in that design if it was like, I guess, bigger and placed different. There's like a tongue on the belly or something, and the eye is on the boobs. Even if you put the eye on the boobs, it would be less fan service than putting the eye directly above the groin, which is now a tongue. Especially because none of the rest of the design is fan servicey at all. It's more covered up than the regular pixie. It seems so incongruous. Every element here feels like a totally different design. They were just kind of smashed together. And also, the fact the eye is so small you can barely see it. Like, it's really unidentifiable as a Suezo evolution until you see that. Maybe it could have had the eye on its forehead, or had it be a Cyclops, or had it be on the chest, and just had your fan service and eaten it too, without grossing people the fuck out. Also, what do you mean the prism floating in front of it contains its schedule? I like the idea and feel like, oh, it's a monster that seems like it has everything together, but it just has a really extensive diary, but there's no prism floating in front of it. Is that a leftover from a previous game? Because I think, if I remember correctly, there was a monster in one previous game which had a floating prism. It might have been the Undyne, the one that's completely gone now. Or is there just a rendering error that's supposed to have a floating jewel of some kind that's not there? I don't know what's going on. I'm checking up other designs for this. Honestly, like, I wish I could compare all of these and have other designs for every single one of them, but this is already becoming a massively long video because I didn't know there were so many monsters. It did have a unique floating, like, it wasn't a prism, it was a mirror shaped like the eye, and the quirk was, oh, it's a very vain pixie, it's always looking at its own face in this eye mirror. I gotta say, I don't like this design either, because it is just a very normal human woman wearing a yellow leotard, and the only Suezo thing at all is the eye-shaped mirror, which is very translucent, so you can barely even tell it has an eye pattern. But still, that's something. It's a bit more visible, and you can see the eye here on this one. And yeah, it's definitely a leftover, because in Monster Rancher 4 you have this current design here, but it still has the eye mirror. In Monster Rancher Evo, it still has the eye mirror. It looks a bit more like a banana. And yeah, if you see in the DS, the mirror is just gone. And in the Android game, it comes back. Really big oversight there. If the DS cannot handle a partially transparent mirror, just don't write in that it has one. Come on, man. And don't give it a mouth groin. In fact, I would go so far as to say never give anything a mouth groin unless it's meant to be actual horror or a porn. Like, I appreciate they wanted to redesign the design to be more Suezo-ish, but if you just, I don't know, put the eye as a choker around the neck, and the tongue is like a colour on the pattern of the bikini, like it's a long orange stripe that goes down between the boobs and it meets in the middle or something. Like, if you didn't want to be fan servicey, there's ways you could do it non-fan servicey. If you did want to be fan servicey, you could do it fan servicey. Just don't do it like this where 99% of the design doesn't look gross and it's the grossest possible thing. Just slapped right on the fatty. You wasted 2 fucking slots on a recolor of the base model, and you wasted them both on actual combinations. Like, Monol is one of the funniest monsters. You really wasted that on this. The only thing you took away from the giant concrete slab of death is the black colour. It's generally just a mattress that attacks people. I love it. What a shame. Okay, rapid fire throwing out there cooler ideas you could have had for a Monol fusion. Squelchy, Square Mochi. It becomes all blocky and funny, and it's interesting to see a very round monster is now not. Obsidian Mochi. The whole thing is now textured black. It looks like an actual statue. It has no visible eyes anymore. It keeps that scary part of Monol. 3. Fuse it in a thematic way. Statue Mochi. Actual statue, not just all over in one texture. It's inspired by Greek gods or something like that. Throw in a little one of those laurel crowns on the top. 4. Dark Mochi. Actual demonic, evil counterpart of Mochi. Has more aspects to the design instead of just changing colour. 5. Comedic thing. It's regular Mochi, but the helmet on its back has now been replaced with Monol. It's just a big square that's rolled over its head. 5, 6, wherever we are. Pillow Mochi. Actually going with the joke of Monol being a big mattress. This is now a comfy, cozy Mochi carrying a pillow, wearing a big blanket, all stitched up fabric themed, and it's cute. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? There's so many things you could do with this concept. But I like the flavor text at least saying, it tried to blacken its heart, but it didn't go over too well with the fan base, so it killed the idea. I mean, at least you're acknowledging it's shit. Funny way of saying it's shit, but why is it in the game if you think it's shit? It's not a bad idea to have an Oni mochi, but I don't think this looks very well. It's literally just a mochi wearing trousers with a cliche Oni pattern. They didn't even make an actual loincloth like a real Oni, and the horns are so tiny, and they just gave it mildly angular. Why do they waste so many slots on things that are so close to being exactly the same thing, just one colour different? Like, at least this one is also wearing pants, but that's about it. What a shame! Also an outdated reference to What's Up. What's that got to do with Oni? Oh, and this is one of the ones I got in my fusion. I'm like, oh, that's one of the worst things I have ever seen. It's a shame because, like, the design itself, like, a funny dog with fins for ears and a little angler horn on the top. Like, that could be cool, but it's the way they give it such detailed, chapped lips. I know that's a trope of eel-based characters in Japanese culture. It's like, oh, if they're humanized in any way, they have that kind of the same lips you'd give a stereotype of a black character, but it's not the stereotype because the character isn't black. But I can see what they're going for, but the pink is a really bad contrast to the rest of the design. Like, it doesn't look like the good complementary pinks you'd have on, for example, the trans flag, or anything involving mixing pink and blue. Just the detail, the fact that they're so chapped, they have so many lines, they're so scrunked up. It just looks unhealthy. It's just like, oh my god, this poor thing does have gum disease. Put it back in the water, it's clearly not fit for land. And, like, the rest of the design is quirky and simple and fun, and they're just really realistic mouth. It's like a creepypasta thing. What a shame! But I like its funny flavor text saying it's not actually a mix of these two monsters. It is a real, actual, regular eel that was struck by mutagenic lightning and grew dog legs. And it can predict earthquakes somehow. But the name does suck. Electri-eel. Like, why not Electriel? Just remove the I. I was going back through this and editing and being like, why did I put this in the worst rank? I was saying the design could have been cool and I felt it was bad because it missed that potential. I should rank it a little bit higher. And I remembered the mouth looks even worse when it's open. That's the first thing you see when you summon it. The worst first impression you could ever get. Yeah, I'm sorry, little guy, you gotta go down. But you are the one solo one in the worst rank, which I think you could have been better. If someone gave you the love you deserve, if someone gave you a moisturization routine. It's a classic fan service, but I like the bone wings. I gotta say the outfit, it is 100% just fan service and no creative ideas. Like, I could have made the bra be made out of is it? If I zoom in, do they have the skeleton connected to the bra? Born of the Future's verdict from editing, it does seem that the bra or whatever the outfit is connected to the skeleton, but it's just like a line of random bones on the top of it. And not what I was trying to go for here. It was on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't think of it at the time. You know that shitty trope they have in animes where it's like, my bra is made of hands grabbing my boobs or something? I was like, well, that's a gothic thing you could have done with skeletons. That's a way you could have somehow made the skeletons involved in the fan service. And the reason why I'm critiquing this is like, oh, she's just a fan service lady and also she's a skeleton lady, and it's like there's no connection between them. You didn't even do the bare minimum of trying to make it a fan servicey skeleton outfit. Like, I wouldn't like it anyway, but I'd hate it less. I do like the elf ears becoming the horns rather than just having the horns in the same place as a regular pixie. I like it has a ponytail now. I really like the wings, I really like the whole aspect of the wings, but it does feel like a parasite growing on the body of an incredibly normal human. A lot less pixie-ish than all the pixies. Popping into the future again to say that would have been genuinely cool if they'd gone like, oh, the monster is just the wings and it possesses human corpses to trick foes with a fake sexy persona or something, but you can just see the flavor text, that's not correct. But I do like the bones going down and spiraling around one arm, that's cool. I gotta say, I don't like the other arm being a regular, like, armoured glove. I feel like it should have just been all black and then the other one should have been all spiraled. And maybe have one of the legs be all spiraled too. This is meant to be Lilim? Lilim had a totally different design. I think Lilim's design was good in the anime, wasn't it good? Like, people liked it. But anyway, I like the flavor text saying, oh yeah, the bones on its back and left shoulder from the first prey it ever captured. Why the left shoulder? So like, it only had one wing, it made a prosthetic second wing out of killing things? That's a really cool idea. I wish it looked like that. I wish you had like an asymmetry on the wings or something. Or does it just mean the spiraling thing on the arm is the only remnant of the prey? That's really boring. Like, why is the remnant of your prey the tiniest bone you have? Anyway, let's look at the original Lilim. Yeah! I'm sorry, but just look at that. That's like a really fucking bombastic, cool colour scheme. Again, I'm not so fond of just having a regular skimpy bikini going on there and showing a lot more skin than the other ones, but it makes sense. It's literally based on Lilith and her Lily and like the actual things that Succubi came from. And oh! I actually did not ever know that it had a creepy fucking eye in its stomach. That's what I wanted from the Suezo one. You can just put it on its belly and it can be fan servicey and scary at the same time and not disgusting as in literally a tongue for a vag. And like, I like it again. It's like, it's very clearly fur. It's not an actual bikini. It's really well done. It makes her look so much more demonic on a thing that already looked like a succubus. It's fucked up, it's genuinely scary and also sexy at the same time. There is something for everyone. And then there was something for nothing. We just abandoned literally every single trait from it. What the fuck? Like, it's not a bad design, but it looks like, honestly, like an enemy from Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something. If you just took the wings off, I wouldn't even say it was a monster by any definition. I wouldn't even say it looked like a demon. I would say it just looks like a lady in cosplay. Oh, Monster Rancher Advance is the worst possible sprite, holy shit. The first game, we didn't actually have a sprite for it, they literally just recolored the basic Pixie. That's so funny, actually. But I've got to say, the secondary colour of a Pixie actually looks kind of nice. It keeps the actual colour scheme. And it has a vibe to it. It's kind of like a werewolf succubus, like a were-succubus. It's just really cool. It's, again, really classic Halloween, really classic monster movie. I guess maybe what they were going for the new one is like Elvira or like a sexy vampire or like that kind of like just the outfit that a human woman in a horror movie would wear. But it can't compare. Like, if you put those skull wings on that design, that would be absolutely fucking peak. This should be the peak, the most ultimate evolved Pixie. Like, that's the whole point. It goes from a succubus to the succubus, the biblical succubus, the progenitor of the whole species. If it had fucked up Skella wings, it would be like, yeah, there is no questioning. Like, if you like tits or not, you can't help but say that's the best thing. Oh, okay, it got even worse. In the online version, that's just so boring, just some generic blonde-haired lady with completely normal wings. I don't understand. They had a really great, excellent, perfect, already wonderful design, and abandoned it at the first possible notice, but there's literally the second time it ever came back, it was just gone. Why was this the one monster that deserved to have a totally different redesign? Even Undyne was like, here's a wildly different redesign of the same concept. I feel so fucking sad. I never thought there'd be a day when I was defending, like, the more normal woman option compared to the one with wings. But, like, it gains the wings at the cost of losing every single other trait. Also, in the anime, they added bat ears, which makes it even better, and claws. They did cover up a bit more. She didn't have the eye. They kind of replaced it with the Moo emblem. It kind of still has the vibe. The colour scheme looks even better, and the contrast they did with the slightly greyish hair rather than fully black. Both of these designs are great. Like, she had the first redesign and it was good. This design, if she had bone wings, would look really cool. I am so outraged on behalf of her. Once I zoomed in on the model, I could see, oh, her hair is slightly covering her eyes. That's a unique trait none of the other Pixies have. That's just a point because there's one creative thing. It doesn't change the ranking at all. I still don't like this. Oh, this looks really bad. You can't even tell it's meant to be a book. And until it turns around, you see the pages. That's really, really tough. That's the worst possible way you could render this text. It's the same way, it's a cool idea. Like, this is why I said you can do fun things with the texture on a model. You can make it a whole grimoire. You can make it the thing that summons Cthulhu. It's a shame. You can't really make out the details. Like, I think it's meant to be that the cover is partially ripped and you can see a spooky pattern on the first page. Oh god, it was worse than I expected. I had a whole section here going, maybe this was like they ripped the textures straight from Monster Rancher 2 and like slammed it on the new model. They didn't realise that they were like lower resolution, so it stretched weird. This monster was created for Monster Rancher DS. This is its first appearance. And somehow it looks like this. Why is it so much less detailed than every other monster in the game? I don't think this is an emulator error because it looks exactly the same on the wiki. There actually have been pixel mistakes in this set of reviews that I've edited out. Like, oh, I falsely blamed the game for something that was a problem with my capture software. And this is not one of them. I feel so sorry for this poor thing. What a shame, what a shame. Children and mothers alike adore the Legion. Which is, yeah, it's just Nessie with a different name. And I guess a little shark fin that's slightly different for Nessie. But yeah, probably one of my least favourite monsters in terms of creativity of design, because it truly is just the traditional monster with no quirks whatsoever. Except, yeah, just one thing on top of the head. But in terms of, like, things that are actually good, it's only the eyes. They're not even really creative eyes, but they're well-drawn, chibi eyes. But truly boring. I'm very conflicted. It's huggable, but also I probably wouldn't remember it after 5 minutes of leaving its present. The only relevant thing I have to say is it looked infinitely better in its first appearance. God, like, oh, back in my day I used to have traits. It used to have big, semi-human anime eyes. It used to have a squiggly wave pattern on its belly. That's two details that exist. I do not know why anyone would willingly choose to not have any details at all. I can't even say it's like the white bread of monsters. It's like the plastic bag it came in. I don't like this one. Ryoko has a nice guy image and gave up its combat skills for very firm, supple skin. Its only flaw is mesmerizing itself gazing into the mirror, so it's a vain metrosexual guy, which makes no sense because he looks hideous. Like what is even going on here? It's just a noodle. It's just a stick. It's just a naked guy, but the sides are leaves. I mean, I guess it's a reference to Mochi being based on having a leaf, but Mochi doesn't actually have a leaf on it, so it looks weird. And the scythe things going above the armors on the shoulders, which are clipping into the lump on the back of its head, I guess it's supposed to be referencing the shape on the back of Mochi's head made of the armor. Like look at that, it's shaped like the armor, but it's not the armor. It's the same color as the skin, and the armor stops on the head instead. And once up at the arms, look like cocktail toothpick holders surrounded by like churros. Massive Mochi feet on the bottom, just completely out of scale with the rest of the thing. This is the worst Sans so far, I'm really sorry. Sometimes just putting a texture on the thing doesn't work, especially when it's a humanoid thing. It's just gonna look naked. Especially don't characterize it as the beautiful one when it's really not.